Welcome to all. Today, G100 Global Networking is welcome two phenomenal women that are Dr. Anita Caprice from USA and Paige Modevi from UK, both chair from G100 that are going to shine light for a very mysterious subject that is for me the meaning of colors. Two experts, two coaches, two authors of books as Anita Caprice with her Your Own Universe, leader of the movement Tap Into You. She will explain to us what that means. And part of that book explain us how we could play with the colors and take it to our own benefits. Patient modeling, coach, NLP practitioner, certificate mindset coach, chef, wellness officers. Both of them are contributing of what means well-being, what means creating this new dimension for our world. We need personal resilience. There's not more about alternative therapies. This is not alternative. This is what we need. Tap into the different therapies that we have to get into personal resilience. And G100 is a club that we are in a steady dialogue, in a steady exchange to get inspired one to each other. This conversation, we had many of this one, but some of them we go live just to share what we do. And maybe, who knows, someone would like to replicate our model and also boost new conversation in different parts of the world. Mindfulness, if we see it 30 years ago, it was just an alternative therapy, only for focus to a group of people. Now it's part of the organizational culture for companies, for businesses. So now also colors, what is music, what is frequency, we need, and especially we need to use, and especially after the coronavirus, we realized that everything was mysterious, everything was uncertainty. So we need to tap into us as the movement of Anita Caprice, tap into you. And that is where we are going to help all of our audience and ourselves to see how we could get inspired and we could find our own tools. So welcome once again, Anita Caprice. Thank you so much for your generosity, your solidarity, and your will to make a change, to make a difference. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
It's so good to be here. This is, oh my goodness, this is one of my favorite subjects, talking about color. You know, the colors of everything, because everything is energy, you know what I mean? And color carries with it the vibrations. I have all my colors, even the days of the week has color, vibration to it. You know, our thoughts are color to it. Even when we think in black and white, although black and white typically are not colors, but they represent the vibration of the colors in its totality. So I'm happy to be here.
Thank you so much, Anita. We are delighted to have you with us. Patient, please.
I'm so happy to be here too. And today I'm bringing another touch to our talks with bringing a little bit more of what people can use as a practice day in, day out to really enhance this power. And everything that Dr. Anita is going to say, I'm just going to jump on it and maybe add a little bit more of empowering there for people to use and to really boost their own energy, like Dr. Anita just said, but also to bring something else in their life where they can feel all the colors of the rainbow, you know, shining through to their life.
Patient, this happened to all of us. In front of Anita, we are all intimidated. You know,
Yes.
we feel totally ignorant about this and many other subjects. Especially when we read a wonderful book that I recommended from Anita, Your Own Universe, and we see this wonderful and amazing and quite extravagant, isn't it, Anita? What that means?
Absolutely. Well, the colors, they're representing the chakras because in the book, Your Own Universe, Your Own Universe talks about our energy, our power on the inside, our centers, our systems, and it deals specifically with the chakras. Because you also have the meridians, but the U deals with the chakras and then the 10 bodies, the tantric 10 bodies, and each one flows and corresponds and connects with each other and also connecting with our vital organ system. So the those colors represent, from what I remember, I saw brown at the bottom, and brown is the color of soil. Brown is the color of growth. That is the color of material progress. So, and brown is the color of being grounded, being connected with our roots. Because as I said, the brown, the soil, the trees, the bark of the tree is brown. Many of things of nature is brown. So brown is a nature color. Then I saw there's green in there. Green is the color of prosperity, and not just financial prosperity, but prosperity in all areas of our lives. Health, wealth, love, peace, joy, happiness, friendship, relationships, motherhood, fatherhood, aunthood, uh, um, um, just all success, even learning lessons, what we may look at them as failures, but they're not. It's success because once we learn that lesson, it's success and it's green. Then we have pink, and green is the color that is connected with our heart chakra. It's one of the colors connected with our heart chakra and our neutral body, the green that balances. And when you think about it, green, prosperity in all areas of our lives. When we are prosperous in all areas of our lives, that means we are balanced. And with our heart chakra and the neutral body, what it does is balances our higher chakras, higher placed chakras with our lower placed chakras. And then there was purple in there. Purple is represents wisdom all day long. Purple represents wisdom, like amethyst. The stone amethyst represents wisdom. It also represents protection, and it's associated with and our brow chakra and our subtle, the subtle, no, the auric, the arc line. That's it's associated with that, and the brow, the third, and also known as the third eye, and that's the right in between. That's not intellect. We're talking wisdom here. There's nothing that we can learn out of the book as far as wisdom. Wisdom is gained through that life lesson, those challenges and those obstacles that we put, those fork in the road that we put in front of us so that we can learn a lesson. And the color purple represents that protection, that aura of protection around us as we learn those life lessons, as we put those forks in the roads for our soul's growth. And then let's see what other colors. Yellow. Yellow is the color of healing. It's the color of healing and connected with our. Thank you, Falsa. It's connected with our solar plexus and our positive mind body. Our core activity is very powerful, and right in there. You have that color yellow for healing because often, so many times, we need healing in the way we think, healing in our perception, healing in our perspective, healing in our judgment, healing in our shadow work, because we all have shadow thoughts. And that's the judgment center right in here. And it's that yellow, the vibrant, bright yellow for optimism, for healing. And then there's orange. Orange is connected with our sacral chakra, which is creativity and holding on to those emotions that we have, because in the back of our mind, everything that we've experienced throughout, you may say, this lifetime is stored in that limbic system. They call it the dinosauric system. That orange is power, and what is power? Creativity, and what is power? Emotion. So that's our sacral, that's connected with our sacral system, and then also our negative protective body. So the orange is powerful in and of that it is protective, and also that negative protective body that tells us, don't go left, go right this time, go that way. Then I think I even saw black. Black is mystery or mastery. That's what black is, the color of the universe. From black came every other color. Every color began with black. Out of the darkness came the light. So the darkness was first, in that beautiful darkness, and that's what black. Black is the total color of the universe. That mystery and that esoteric, that arcanic knowledge. That's the color black, the mystery of it. What
I
other
love what you're
colors?
saying, Dr. Anita. I love
Huh?
what, sorry to cut you there. I love what you're saying, Dr. Anita. And when we come to the shadows, like you were saying, and you're talking that everything came from the darkness to the light.
Yes.
So does it mean, do you think that it means that on every colors there's the dark side in the color, there's the dark side and the light side?
There are different, well, you know what? Now you're going, yeah, because everything is energy and everything is one energy. But now you're going, and bless your heart, you're talking about the universal law of polarity. So the color is up in and of itself. It just depends on the pole that we attach it to. So
Mm,
there is, and there is, like may have light blue, dark blue. You know what I mean? But the light blue, dark blue does not represent bad or good.
mm,
It just represents the texture, or the not the flavor, but what do you call, the hue of the color, that you have the light. And because with everything you're gonna have the polarity
yeah.
to it. So yeah, yeah, and then out of darkness, and with out of darkness comes all of the other colors. Yeah. Because that favorite saying, out of the darkness came light.
Right.
So
Yeah.
what came first? The darkness. Because it's easy to take something dark and lighten it than to take something light and darken it.
Right.
Yeah.
You see, Anita, it's so amazing what you are saying, no? Because in a sense, we live in the darkness. Because if we are losing the power of colors from nature, if we are losing the capacity from music to impact our emotions in a positive way, means that we live in the darkness. And you say it in your book, weakness. What is our weakness? We came from a place from the head, from ego, intellectual comprehension, evaluation, instead of the heart, unable to clarify or understand our purposes and creativity. Thank you for that, Rita.
Thank you. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, I have all my colors, and I try to wear the colors, because every day has a color and a vibration. Every day of the week, everything has color. Even prison walls are painted a certain color to produce calmness with the inmates. Color in the hospital, bright colors in the hospital. Everything has color.
Anita, you have a body chart in your book. You describe the body chart, different parts of the body. I will just mention a few ones. They are divided into colors. For example, the subtle body in silver, pranic body black, auric body white, from ear to ear indigo, physical body is blue, as you are dressing today in blue, show body is red. What that means exactly, and how we can use it for our in a positive way.
Oh, absolutely. And it's just a matter of wearing color, and then also accepting and embracing the vibration. Because, okay, so talking about our body, if say if I'm feeling a little uncertain about my livelihood, how I'm making money, especially a solopreneur. I'm self-employed. So of course there's sometimes that I'm going to be fearful of how to pay my rent, mortgage, or just fearful about, financial things, and not overabundant, like, oh my God, but just a little concerned. Well, what can help will be to wear red, because red is the color of our base chakra and is also the color of our soul body. So the vibration with the red and everything, and because everything is one energy, that one energy is connecting. So I'm wearing red, and then that energy helps me to know that I am protected. That energy is helping me strengthen my base chakra. That red and we're not talking conscious. We're talking let it go, let it flow. It's not an analytical thing, because once we start analyzing and putting this to that and intellectualizing it, then for me, the vibration, you're losing it. It's like with music. At one time, the music was six tonal back in Pythagoras' time and way in ancient Egypt. Music was six tonal. It had magic. We then made it into seven or eight tonal, and it's been said when I did my dissertation, the research that I found is that we lost the magic in music because we changed it, because we analyzed it, we intellectualized it, and we tried to put it in a compartment and contain it. Well, with color, with energy, that's one of the things you just that's what when I mentioned that you embrace it, because once you embrace it and let it go with the flow and trust that the vibrations are working for you because you are working for them, you're working with them, then it can work. So red, and then you said blue. Blue is the color of our chakra, our self-expression. If I'm having issues with expressing, like now in this little thing, charms that I have here inside here, I have lapis lazuli. Lapis lazuli is one of those wisdom stones, and it's like every time I put this rascal on, it's like my communication is really cool. I'm not struggling, and that's even with my with having hearings with my claimants before the administrative law judge. The crystal, it just works. That blue in there because it helps with that expression. So
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 it's
so for
about,
me,
so
hmm
it is more about the feeling that we embody when we are thinking of the colors.
it is
Would you say
always the feeling. It's not about the thinking,
the
and that's what with
emotions?
the red, the soul body. The soul is head over heart. I mean, I'm sorry, heart over head. We think head. We tend to think we have to intellectual. We got to plan this. We got to do this. We got to be in this order. We got all of that is coming from the head, and not necessarily the ego. Because I'm one that don't believe we need to get rid of the ego. I think embrace the ego, embrace it, because that's a part of us that's powerful. It's necessary. It's a beautiful thing. We need to, it's about putting things in perspective. So when we're thinking from our heart, what we're doing is coming from intuition. We're coming from that sage wisdom and that pure innocence. We're coming from that space that we're no longer intellectualizing. We're no longer thinking, okay, I wonder what they're going to think, or I wonder. It's no longer coming from that area. There's Wayne Dyer had said, ego means eliminating God out. Where I say, you know what? There's a higher ego, and that's expressing God's opulence. And when we do that, what we do is we're just letting go. We're like the water. We're non-resistant, and that's how the vibration. So yeah, patience. I do. I'm a firm believer of the vibration and the energy is more of a feeling. And yes, there's thinking, because we are human. We're intellectual. We do these things, and we think on these things, but it's a lot of that feeling, because when we think thought, it is the feeling behind that thought, the intent and the content of that emotion, either emotion or feeling, that's going to be power to that vibration.
Yeah.
Anita, you both are saying something amazing, no? That this is not just wearing in a different color or just having a bracelet in red. It's just that you feel the conviction and the faith that is part of your energy. Because if you see, that's what is missing in our society. There are many handbooks where you could read for an interview, for example, wear these colors, avoid these colors, but it's without feeling. It's totally out. It's just a tool, a code, not something that you are embracing in conviction that this will protect you. And that is about also colors and also frequency. You know this one, 417, to healing energy, that I have it here. And I learning from you, Anita, how to use it. And yes, how to use it and how to tap in our. You could hear?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Can we hear? Uh-huh.
417 is also this kind of binaural. You could
Oh,
explain
you're
it.
on Silvaggio. Yeah, the
Yes,
Silvaggio. That's that tonal. And see, music has color.
Mm,
Music has
yes,
color. You
yes.
know, gee, I don't. I have a chart of like uh, different notes, different notes, the flats and the sharps and the color and the keys, the whites and the blue. All of the notes have color. Everything has color to it.
in Anita, in her wonderful book, Your Universe, she combined what is music with colors and of course feelings. And really, there are really it's proven, and I prove it with myself. That it creates positive impact. It helps on the road, especially on crisis, isn't it?
Absolutely. Absolutely. The color, I mean, and like I said, even the days, I mean, when we know, and my thing is once we know the vibration, and by know, I should say, once we understand, because not know, but once we understand that there's energy and we're connected with that energy and to flow with it, that's a beautiful thing. Just even as even numbers have color. And when you flow with something, when you know like Sunday is the vibration of confidence. When you know this, then okay, this is a day that I can work on my confidence. Sunday is the color of gold. Gold is masculine in nature. That's the vibration that brings in ideas and knowledge. And when you know this, it's a say, okay, Sunday, this is the day that I'm going to think about what ideas do I have. When we understand and connect with the universal vibration and the vibration of it all of only this one energy, that's very self-recovering, because what we're doing, we're being co-creators with the universe. We're being co-creators with each other. We're being co-creators with nature. Monday is the color of silver. That's feminine in nature. That's when we understand and manifest. So if I know, okay, Monday is the manifest day, so let me see what I can manifest today. Because now we're flowing, I call it tuned with the universe. Tuesday is the color red. Red is desire. Red is protection. Red is passion, and passion can be either one. I may have a passion of something that I really dislike, because passion is not only just love, kind of thing. It is that what you have a passion for. Anger is passion. Anger is passion. Those are things that Tuesday, that could be a day to work on, because that is a day of protect. Let me protect my thoughts. Okay, Tuesday, what am I angry with today? What is my passion today? It's all about self-recovery. That's why we're here. Like that purpose, we all have one purpose. That one purpose is to express the attributes of the creator, to express the attributes of love. You know what I mean? So, and then how we do it is by our talents. Then we have Wednesday. Wednesday is the color of healing, and Wednesday is the color of communication. What
Yeah.
better way? How do we heal than to communicate? When we communicate with each other, we are healing. When we communicate with ourselves, we are healing. Thursday is Thursday is the color of blue, and that's that's spirit, that spirit, that's the ruach, and that's the color, the yeah the color blue is a day of reflection. So Thursday, because Sunday is the first day of the week. Then we get to Thursday, it's a day of reflection. Okay, instead of me being so busy like a bee, let me flow in this vibration with the color of blue and reflect. What have I been doing that I'd like to change? Then Friday is green. Green, the beautiful color green, prosperity in all areas of our life. And then Friday is the color of love. I mean, the Friday is the vibration of love. That's the day of love. Saturday is the purple. We set those boundaries. That's when it's time to set those bounds, that color, that vibration. So when we know, it's just a matter of when we understand, say,
Action.
what, I'm digging this. I like this. Let me really flow into that metaphysical part of this glorious, beautiful life. It's 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 amazing because it's so simple.
Yeah.
Because all we're doing is being.
Yeah. And I feel like like from everything you've shared just now, I feel like colors really bring action. So if you feel like you're in inaction and you really connect to the colors, you have this kind of like push and going forward into aligning yourself with an action that is going to serve you for the better.
Yeah, yeah, oh, absolutely. And then, like I said, even sometimes with Thursday, some inaction. Sometimes we got to be still.
Yes.
Sometimes we cannot just keep busy moving. So,
Yeah.
because we got to be still to receive. To receive. So, yeah, I like I said, colors, and I love talking about colors. White, the color that's the crown chakra. White. That's the color of purity, of spirituality. So you have here, you have black mystery.
My favorite color.
Hi, white is
My
your
favorite
favorite
color.
color?
Yeah,
Yeah.
my
Okay.
favorite.
Well, yeah. See, white represents sincerity. It represents purity, spirituality, faith. That's what the color white represents. Absolutely.
I,
Yeah.
I love, and I love that you bring that because also what you are saying, connected music, nature, frequency, colors, it's part of having faith. Faith that this is something that is uh, beyond what we are seeing. No, it's not just about materialism. It's about when you find challenge that you tap into different resources, and you have the faith that you are going to find a way out. So it's a matter. It's religious. It's a religious
absolutely.
attitude out of a religion, a specific religion, out from a specific religion, but it's a religious attitude, to trust.
Absolutely, absolutely. And when you think about like when the bride, the first getting married, what color does the bride normally wear the gown?
Mm. Okay.
New, purity, new. I'm entering into something sacred. Faith. I have faith that this life is going to carry us through. It's more just than wearing that dress, that color. I mean, it represents the dove. When you let the doves fly at some weddings, you let those doves go free. You know, all of that is just it just represents and it's real. It's real. It's so real. For me, it's more real than what I can see.
Mm.
You know what I mean? What I see, I've already created it in here, and with color and logic and intuition and everything. So what I see out here in color, it's already it started in here. That tapped into you.
It's curious and sad that all of us that they are more intellectual, we need to prove everything intellectually, and that is very sad, because you lose faith that it could happen without an intellectual production, just to feel. And whenever I try to keep the balance intellectual and feelings, it's really when I found the path, the way out. I found it only when you reduce your intellectual capacity to prove everything, to try to spot the colors, which is really the impact. Doesn't matter. You trust on them that they will help you. There will be one more element to help you. A patient, if you would like, we go back with Anita later. A patient, if you are ready.
Yes, I will be presenting. Let me share my screen.
Okay.
As we say, we have an steady dialogue. We have a conversation in G100. This is a cloud, and this is enthusiasm that you are seeing. This colorful space that we have. It's just a reflection of what we are and what we wanted to contribute.
Absolutely.
So here is the presentation, and as usual, I like to start with a quote. But today I'm not going to quote just a proverb or from a book, but from this beautiful song sung by Cyndi Lauper. I don't know if you can hear me. I can hear some back.
Let's.
Sorry. So, and I see your true colors shining through. I see your true colors, and that's why I love you. So don't be afraid to let them show your true colors. True colors are beautiful, and I see your true colors. I think this is just such a beautiful song, but also it just represents everything that colors are. Colors are you, your truth, your being, your everything. And the idea that we are our authentic self when we are showing ourselves, I think is really important. For that, we also need support. So I believe that sometimes we need extra tips like Dr. Anita shared just now. And I'm going to share some more tips with you of what you can do on a daily basis. So I'm Patience. Just so you know, as Ma already introduced me, I'm going to move forward into a little preview. So I'm going to talk to you about the inspiration behind my take today with Jacob Olson, Gary Craig, Byron Katie, Emily Coe, and then I will just go on to how you can use the powers behind those 7 colors right here. So, as I said, in this sharing, I was inspired and guided to use the work of Jacob Olson. So, Jacob Olson was more in terms of the color of the meanings. Used Gary Craig, which is more around the EFT tapping. I used Byron Katie's work. She done a lot of work on how we work on ourselves and our personal development, but also how do we work on our beliefs and things that we think that are true, we actually might not be serving us. And then Emile Coué is the creator, or if we can say it like that, of affirmations. So let's go a little bit on it. Here I talk about EFT tapping. So EFT tapping, as some of you might know, is basically, I'm going to say to you in basic terms, and you can just read what is here. It's basically tapping on different acupressure points, and at the same time saying like an affirmation, going from a negative affirmation to a positive affirmation, all of that to release whatever is tied into the belief that you've created or that you believe in. And you're going to use a little bit of that. And then we're going to use a little bit of Byron Katie, not necessarily here, but I want you to go back into the sharing. So I shared the presentation with Ma. Ma will be able to share it with everybody. If you're going to use this, you can go back into those questions and really try to work on whether the belief you hold is true? Can you absolutely know that it is true? How do you react when it happens? What do you feel? We come back to emotions and stuff like that. And then who would you be without the thought? Your new self, the new uh, uh, self that you want to be. And here we come back to Emil Quay. Emil Quay basically discovered affirmation as he was giving medication to his patient. He was also suggesting that they will say every day, in every way, I am getting better and better and better. And then he realized that in the majority of cases, people were feeling better by saying those affirmations. But also on another end, he also realized that you really need to truly believe what you are saying in the affirmation so that it works. Whereas where I'm sharing the work of Byron Katie first and also the work of Craig David. Gary Craig, sorry, not Craig David. So I'm not going to go back into what the color red means. Dr. Anita talked to us a lot about the colors, but I want you to use this EFT setup and this affirmation to support you into really grabbing the power of the color red. So with the color red, like we were talking with Dr. Anita, there's and with Mar, there's a polarity in all the colors. So here we went into the negative to come back into the positive. So I'm going to share with you how to tap, and we're going to do the tapping. So we're starting here on the red, and we're going to do it really quickly on all the other tapping. So it's rapid tapping. If you want to do it along with us, feel free. If you feel like you don't want to do it, that's fine. You have all the time to do it in your own time when you're revisiting the video. Let me stop here. Yeah, okay. So even though, and we start to tap here on the cavity choke point, even though I feel angry right now, I choose to release this emotion and empower myself instead. While anger is a natural response to certain situation, I know that holding on to it will only bring me down. I choose to honor my feelings and that I don't need to let them control me. And this is an EFT setup that you can use day in, day out to support you if you feel angry. There's other ones you can use and you can create your own as well. In terms of affirmation for red, I wanted to look at how red is in our life. So red brings spontaneity, it brings positivity, it attracts, it's a bit of a symbol of sexuality and, you know, passion and everything. So I wanted to add affirmation that you can say that really bring this in force. So I am creative. I am a creative force, and my spontaneity, knows no bounds. I radiate warmth and positivity, attracting good energy and love wherever I go. My sexuality is a beautiful expression of my deeply connected spirit and brings me joy, brings you joy and pleasure. I have the courage to face any challenges that may come my way. And this is what you can use when you're thinking of the color red. So now we go into orange. And again, orange is associated with enthusiasm, warmth, joy, being energetic, fun. So there's this kind of feeling also that can come on the other polarity, which is being superficial. So when you have feeling this feeling, how can you move it forward? You can move it forward with this EFT setup. Even though, I'm going to redo it again, even though being superficial may have given me a temporary sense of validation, I choose to focus on my inner values and characteristic that truly make me shine. And this is a setup that you can use again day in, day out when you're feeling this is coming into your life. In terms of affirmation, I found this information in affirmation really great as well to kind of like boost this kind of feeling of energy that you want to have maybe when you wake up in the morning. So I am creatively spontaneous and full of warmth, radiating positivity in all that I do. My creativity knows no boundaries, and my spontaneous nature allows me to embrace every new opportunity with open arms. I am a source of warmth and positivity wherever I go. So this is orange. Now, yellow is again a vibrant embodiment of happiness and optimism, um, and it stimulates uh, your mentality, perception, um, and also it inspires curiosity. It can boost your enthusiasm and confidence. So here again, I went into the polarity for the EFT setup. As you can see, it's already the same setup we have here. And we start from the negative, we go into the positive. So start again. I deeply and completely love and accept myself, even with my ego getting in the way at times. I recognize that my value and worth do not come from external validation or the size of my ego. I am already worthy and deserving of love and respect, regardless of any egotistical tendencies I may have. The breath and affirmation. So affirmation that you can use to really boost the power of the yellow into your life on a daily basis would be: I am overflowing with creativity and my perception is filled with limitless possibilities. My mind is strong and I radiate warmth to all those around me. I am confident in my abilities and trust my intuition. With every thought and action, I am manifesting my ultimate reality. Then we go on to color green, the color green. So the EFT setup here is: even though I feel envy in certain situation, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Envy is a natural human emotion, but it doesn't define me as a person. I acknowledge the feeling of envy and take responsibility for my actions. Instead of letting envy consume me, I choose to focus on my own strength and accomplishment. So green represent harmony, health. It brings back this feeling of safety and security, and it's really a symbol of growth. So in terms of the affirmation, I went into: I am blessed with an abundance of generosity, both in giving and receiving. With hope as my guide, I trust that every step I take is leading me toward prosperity and success. With kindness, love, and positivity, I create a life of fulfillment and abundance for myself and those around me. And we move to color blue. So the color blue, the color of trust and loyalty, bring calmness and relaxation. And also in another side, there's this kind of like depressing, when people think, oh, I'm feeling blue and things like that. So again, the two polarities, yeah. So here the EFT setup is: even though I have been feeling passive lately, I deeply and completely accept myself. It is okay to take a step back sometimes, to pause and reflect. However, I also know that I am capable of taking actions and making a difference in my life. I choose to tap into my inner strength and empower myself to take bold steps towards my goals. In terms of the affirmations, I am confident in my abilities and trust myself to make the right decision. I find peace within myself through mindfulness and self care practices. Honesty is always at the forefront of my interactions and relationships, allowing for deeper connections and trust. And this is how you can use the blue on the daily basis. Now we move on to purple, and we one away for the end. But purple is like the color of spirituality and imagination. It's got also like the color black, this kind of like mysterious, mystical aura that it's got. And I don't know. This is my preferred color. Is the color purple. It also has this kind of association to royalty, to luxury, to being enigmatic and captivating. So the EFT setup here would be feeling emotional. Yeah. So we're going through feeling emotional to feeling happy and capable with ourselves. Even though I am feeling emotional right now, I deeply and completely accept myself. All of my emotions are valid and serve a purpose in my life. I accept and honor them even when they are difficult to navigate. I trust I am capable of handling my emotion with grace and ease, knowing that each experience brings me closer to my true self. Deep breath. Affirmations. So the affirmation that you can use to embody this color purple on a daily basis will be: I am filled with compassion, wisdom, and creativity every day. My creativity allows me to see new perspective and come up with innovative solutions to challenges. Remember, there are more affirmations that you can use in terms of colors. So this is just a few, and this is just one EFT setup, yeah? And now, last but not least, the color pink. So the color pink is the color of love. I mean, it's kind of associated to love, kindness and compassion. It's gentle, and there's this kind of like soothing vibration that brings comfort and acceptance. When you see pink, you kind of feel at ease. So now we're going to go into the EFT setup and that negative polarity, which is feeling timid and not being able to be sure and certain of yourself. So even though I feel timid and unsure of myself at times, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. I acknowledge that it is okay to feel uncertain and scared as I navigate through life. I trust that my innate power and resilience will guide me through any challenges that come my way. Affirmation: I am kind and compassionate to myself and those around me. I radiate warmth from within, creating a safe and supportive environment for all. My intuition is strong and serves me well in making empowering decisions. So, this is the way that you can use. Thank you for listening to me. So, I'm just going to stop sharing and come back. But this is how you can use those colors every day to kind of like, really pull through this power of the colors in your life.
Thank you so much, Patient. This is absolutely amazing and powerful. And
Thank you.
if someone have in our audience had feel identified, had get that feeling that it has a very positive impact, you can imagine in a present way, because last year we have been together,
Yes.
and patient did the same in front of an audience present, and it was absolutely amazing because you could feel it in the silence of the room. You could feel it. So it's a whole manifesto of well-being. It's not metaphysical. It's That's very important. I think the message we have to send it. It's not metaphysical. It's very practical tools to use our own power, our own universe, to physically tap into us, and with positivity. And when you have positivity, when you are creative, when you use creativity, it means simply that you are using your own resources with an open mindset. And for people who think too much, because we live in a society that is created to think everything is tangible, and it's only things that you are in your mind intellectually. So please, Anita, the author, I hope you will give me the rights to read part of your book. And because you say in your book, it comes to mind, some say we think an average of 40 or 50,000 thoughts per day. 85% of those thoughts are unprotected negatives. This is important to note and be mindful of on a daily basis. So you know how much we could make a list of how many enemies do we have, but maybe first on top of the list is ourselves.
Absolutely. Number one.
Ladies, this was absolutely amazing. We need to go now. Unfortunately, I hope this is just a first edition. Yes, there are two more, Bina and Shira from India, both of them that they are absolutely powerful. So I hope to have a second edition with them as well. You two, where you make my day and my week. Maybe you're my month. Thank you so much for this practical tool. I am absolutely ignorant of that. So thank you for shining light to a very obscure and dark times for our world. So we need that. We need positivity, and we need to use what we are and what we have. Thank you so much. Tap into you. Tap into you.
Thank you, Mar. Thank you so much. Thank you, Patience. I love that PowerPoint. I'd love to have that PowerPoint if you would.
Yes, I will send it to you. Like I think it's important that we every day we have something to remind us what to do. And I have a Dr. Anita's book just right here as well. So
thank you. All right, you guys. Love you.
Tap into you.
Tap into, yeah. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.